There are going to be people who lose money. There's going to be pain. It's never a straight line. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be people who fall out, people who make money. And there's going to be a lot of traditionalists that think it's just the worst thing ever for the little guy because they think they know more than the little guy.
One of the things we're kind of framing right now, and something that's going through my head and probably going through your head, is, are we in some sort of bubble? You know, if we talk about the financial markets first, what's your perspective on this? Because it seems like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's two types of bubbles in my mind. There are interest rate Fed bubbles, and then there are people-driven buying bubbles, right? And depending on the asset, I think it's a little bit different. But I think for the most part, this is a Fed-driven bubble more than it is anything else. You know, so you can't really compare this part of just stock prices to what we saw with the internet bubble, right? Because interest rates back then were 4 or 5%, so people had risk-free alternatives. They could just put the money in a savings account and make money. So it was a personal choice to come in and buy. But, you know, on some of the collectible items, I think that there's joint responsibility. There's the money available from the Fed, and then there's people looking to get into a variety of different types of collectibles, whether it's crypto, whether it's trading cards, art, whatever it may be.
And what about the massive rise of retail? I've seen you on Twitter talk about it. We've all been looking at this, the huge rise of retail, which is great. But it seems like it's come very quickly with stimulus checks, and right. You know, it seems to be driven by other things as well. What's your take on that whole situation?
I love it, right? Because it's the revenge of the nerd. You know, it's the revenge of the little guy, and it's no different. It's just using some of the same techniques that brokerage firms have used forever. You know, get long and get loud. Except now in this day and age, you can go on a message board, but unlike the internet days when there would be a few thousand people on Yahoo message boards or maybe 100,000 people on message boards across a variety of stocks, now you've got, Wall Street Bets and the like, where you've got this concentrated effort and you've got the zeitgeist, this mindset of, screw the big guy, right? Screw Wall Street. And you combine those two together, and it's not investing. And it's almost not even trading. It's more like revenge, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, when I say that, I say it's not necessarily a bad thing because of what it represents and what that impact can be going forward. To me, that's what makes it good, because you can see this group investing of little guys really turning into something that has a powerful impact. But like I wrote on my Reddit, there's going to be some bloodshed along the way, right? There are going to be people who lose money. There's going to be pain. It's never a straight line. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be people who fall out, people who make money. And there's going to be a lot of traditionalists that think it's just the worst thing ever for the little guy because they think they know more than the little guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole theme that many of us have been looking at for years, the democratization of finance and, taking the power away from Wall Street. I mean, it's happening en masse, and social media has driven it, and it's super encouraging, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest threat isn't so much the banks. It's liquidity, as we saw with Robinhood, and it's the SEC, who we don't know what they're going to do. But the SEC throws everybody under the bus because, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what lawyers do, and so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. In my mind, and I just had a recent conversation about this, it's the crypto perspective of, concentrate.